like if you found the video valuable. Jason Carter lived alone in a cramped second-floor apartment above a shuttered electronics repair shop on the outskirts of town. The streets below were silent most nights, interrupted only by the occasional hiss of wind or the distant bark of a dog. Life moved slowly for Jason, days filled with freelance web design, nights spent with instant noodles and old sci-fi flicks. He had no family nearby, few friends, and even fewer visitors. He liked it that way. Quiet, predictable, but that predictability began to crack the night the TV turned itself on. It was an old Zenith set from the 80s, with dials for channels and faux wood paneling on the sides. Jason kept it more for aesthetic than function. It hadn't been plugged in for over a year. Yet, at exactly 2:03 a.m., it came to life. Static, then a whisper. "Can you see me now?" Jason sat up in bed, blinking into the darkness. The light from the TV painted the room in a pale, stuttering glow. He rubbed his eyes and stared. Was it a power surge? A prank? A weird dream? He walked over, checking the cord. Still unplugged. The static danced regardless. Then, as suddenly as it started, the screen went black. He didn't sleep the rest of the night. The next day, Jason hauled the Zenith out into the alley behind the building and shoved it into a dumpster. He returned home, double-checked his locks, and convinced himself it was a fluke. Stress, isolation, maybe the beginning of burnout. He fell asleep watching Netflix on his laptop. At 2:03 a.m., a faint light flickered across the room. The TV was back. Not just another TV. The same Zenith, sitting exactly where it had been the night before. Jason stood frozen in the doorway of his bedroom. The air felt colder, heavier. He grabbed his phone, turned on the camera, and hit record. The screen showed nothing but static for several seconds, then began to shift. A silhouette formed in the snow. A face, not a clear one, but definite eyes, and a mouth curled into a grim smile. "Come closer," the voice hissed from the speakers. Jason dropped the phone. He called a local repairman the next morning. "A Zenith?" the man said on the phone. "That model was recalled in '88. Some kind of wiring issue. Fires, mostly. But there were rumors. Urban legend stuff. People said the TVs would turn on by themselves. That they could show things. Things you weren't supposed to see." Jason chuckled nervously. "You believe that?" The man paused. "I used to own one. Until my brother disappeared." Jason froze. He was watching TV. Said he saw something. Something calling him. "We found the remote, still warm." The TV was unplugged. But he was gone. Jason hung up. The next night, he set up 3 cameras. One aimed at the TV, another at his front door, and a third on himself. He sat in the living room, coffee in hand, eyes locked on the screen. 2:03 a.m. The TV turned on. Static again, but this time, a scene began to form beneath the snow. A room. A figure sitting in a chair. Tied up. It was Jason. He blinked, looked around in confusion, then back at the screen. The figure in the chair looked up slowly, bleeding from the nose, one eye swollen shut. The figure whispered, "Help me." Jason staggered back. A loud knock rattled his front door. 3 knocks. He didn't move. The knocking continued. He checked the door camera. Nothing there. Yet the door handle began to turn. He grabbed a kitchen knife. Then the screen flickered and showed a different scene, his bedroom. His bed, and someone was lying in it. Him again. "Let me out," the screen Jason mouthed. Jason pulled the TV's cord from the wall, even though it wasn't plugged in. The screen died instantly. The knocking stopped. Jason started researching. He found forums filled with posts about haunted technology, cursed devices, analog signals that carried echoes from somewhere else. Some called it a frequency from the in-between, a space where memories, spirits, and unfinished souls resided. Others blamed the government, electromagnetic experimentation, or even aliens. One post stood out. The Zenith Echo. A TV that shows your death before it happens. If you watch long enough, it pulls you in. The broadcast wants you to join the program. The timestamp on the post was from 2003. The account no longer existed. Jason set up a live stream. He figured if the TV wanted an audience, he'd give it one. Thousands joined out of morbid curiosity. Reddit and Twitter buzzed with #HauntedBroadcast. People debated its authenticity. Jason didn't care. He just wanted proof, evidence, a witness to whatever this was. 2:03 a.m. The Zenith turned on. The screen showed his apartment from a high angle, like security footage. Jason's real-time self on the couch. He waved to the camera. Chat exploded. Then the scene shifted. He was back in the chair. But this time, someone stood behind him. A tall figure in a trench coat, face obscured by shadow. Jason leaned forward. The figure whispered something into the restrained Jason's ear. His live stream buffer lagged, then crashed. All his screens went black. When they returned, the TV was off. Jason's couch was empty. He was gone. The live stream stayed offline. Police were called. His apartment door was locked from the inside, but Jason was nowhere to be found. Only the Zenith remained, still unplugged, still warm. When detectives reviewed the saved footage from the cameras, there was nothing abnormal. No man in a coat. No vision. Just Jason, alone, staring at a static-filled screen until 2:03 a.m. then empty couch. A week later, a new Reddit post appeared from a new user. The broadcast continues. Tune in. We're always looking for new viewers. Attached was a video. The same apartment, the same Zenith, static once again. Then Jason's face appeared. He looked out from the screen. Pale, hollow-eyed. He whispered, "Can you see me now?"